It was during Seattle's summer of 1927 that the final phases of construction for what was to become STTherese Parish and School were being completed. By August 15th, the very first Mass was held with STTherese's first pastor, the Reverend Eugene Duffy, presiding. In attendance was the Reverend John Edward O'Day, Seattle's first bishop, who performed the dedication ceremony of the new church and school. The opening of a new parochial school must have been very satisfying for Bishop O'Day, since he was the one that guided the diocese through World War I and the anti-Catholic sentiment engendered by Initiative 49, a Ku Klux Klan-sponsored initiative to make parochial schools illegal in Washington state. It is also interesting to note that many graduates of this new elementary school would go on to attend a parochial high school bearing his name in the decades to come. However, it was under the careful vision and direction of Father Eugene Duffy that the church, school, rectory, and convent buildings were constructed. It was Father Duffy who made the purchases of the real estate needed and who basically oversaw all building and remodeling. The entire cost for all four buildings together totaled $73,781. Compare that to the average cost of a single home in Seattle today, which is $690,300. STTherese Parish was officially established in September of that year, commemorating the 60th anniversary of the Catholic Diocese of Seattle. The new parish was formed from boundaries that had originally been covered by two other parishes. These were the Immaculate Conception and St. Joseph churches. These new boundaries were from Lake Washington going down Yesler Way to 27th Avenue, and then going north to East Madison, and then down Madison to Lake Washington. In the beginning, the parish served around 120 families, the majority of which were of Irish descent. It was from these families that the first student body of STTherese was formed, which totaled about 87 pupils. The school was operated by nuns who came from the Order of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Newark, New Jersey. Sister Superior Dolorosa became the first principal of STTherese School, and there were only 4 other teachers on the staff. In the years that followed, the population of the parish and the school grew at a rapid pace. By 1942, the parish had grown to 350 families, and the school now had 140 students. This was due mostly to the later addition of the Broadmoor and East Madison communities to the parish. Father John D. McGrath, who was the second pastor of STTherese, and whose 1942 parish history paper, which is the basis for part 1 of this presentation, described the community at the time. He said, "Half of the residents are poor, and half are of the society type, and appear fairly well-to-do. The parish seemed to benefit from the presence of more wealthy parishioners, as the $110,000 loan that paid for the building of the STTherese Parish Complex was finally paid off by 1942, the majority of it being in that year. Within 3 years, World War II would end. In 5 years, the parish and school would be celebrating its 20th anniversary, and a new post-war era would begin, bringing new and more diverse families to the parish and the surrounding community."